Welcome back, everyone. In my previous game, I played against E-Check from Switzerland, and in the game he played the Grunfeld defense, and I chose a rare line that I think is quite an interesting weapon against the Grunfeld to pose some problems if black doesn't know the best solution in all the variations. The idea is to play knight f3 and then capture, followed by bishop d2, and then rook c1. In this case he took first, but we transposed to the same line after rook c1. We're trying to repress his idea of playing c7, c5. And then I would like to play e3, bishop e2, castle short, and be maybe slightly better. And I'll make two remarks about the game while we wait for the next game to be paired. There's one that c6 is a mistake usually in the Grunfeld, and it allowed e4. And that, other than playing slowly, and I'll try to keep improving it, in this game I could have probably won immediately. I said in the video I don't have a threat here, but apparently a3 is quite a deadly threat, and I didn't notice it. This would probably have been very close to winning on the spot. And in the game I played something else.
Check.
Still better for white, but not nearly as convincing. And I managed to finally win the game without too much difficulties. So yeah, feel free to watch the game if you want to see how the things took place. And yeah, the Grunfeld can be quite an annoying opening to tackle with white, so this weapon I'll try to play a little bit more in the next few games, and at some point I'll introduce sharper lines. Okay, we have a new game. We're playing against chess24 from the United States. chess24.com is a great chess website. Feel free to visit it. So he played d4. I'll go knight f6. I'm attempting to maybe play the Nimzo Indian. I'm a Grunfeld player myself, but the Nimzo Indian is my recent passion, just like the French defense. I like to learn new things. Here also, bishop b4, the Ragozin is one of my favorite lines, but in Blitz games and also recently I've been quite fond of this line, d takes c4. Partially because of the chess24 DVD by Gustafsson about the Vienna. This is called the Vienna opening. He played a less principled option. I'm going to play a6 now. And the idea is to answer bishop c4 with b5. Yes, now c5 and knight c6 will give me probably quite an easy equality, but I really would like to get a double-edged position with a lot of play, so I'll just go for b6, trying to develop my bishop from the long diagonal, since it's blocked by the pawn here. Yes, and now I would really like to develop my bishop here, but then e4 might be dangerous in this variation, or queen e2 followed by e4, so I'm developing the bishop to d square, to put pressure on the knight and indirectly prevent the idea of e3, e4. I believe Gustafsson mentioned that the critical move here was queen b3, and it's very interesting. I checked it a little bit. Yeah, knight e5 shouldn't be one of the most principled options, so I'm going to play castle. And yeah, the position is quite double-edged as I wanted it to be. So I'm always happy to have a rich position out of the opening if possible, as opposed to just equalizing and playing a balanced game where it's hard to pose too many problems to my opponent. So now the position is quite rich. White has some space, but also he's a little bit behind in development, and it feels like my center, his center is under some pressure now. he might end up with an isolated pawn after I capture, and he captures with the pawn. Now, yeah, he seems to sacrifice the pawn. It might be a good call by him, because taking it doesn't seem very attractive for me after he blocks the check with bishop e3. I'll try to finish my development as well. So I'll go knight c6. And I think that in this position, yeah, rook d1, I'd really like to finish my development and start the middle game. Queen e7 makes sense to get away from the d file, and well, as far as I can see, I'm not so sure. Rook fd8 is an idea. Rook ac8. He's having some difficulties to end his development, because I maintained the pressure in the center and it didn't allow him to put his bishop on e3. So now I can probably claim that I got a fine position. Oh, now I noticed also that he could have taken a pawn after knight takes e6 and bishop a6, but I might have had some compensation there. Okay, this is becoming a little bit sharper. I'll probably go rook f to d8, trying to put my rook on an open file to finish my development. I would advocate my opponent rook ac1 to do the same, but okay, I can do cd4 now. And go knight takes c6, knight take, ed4. Yeah, I need for a follow-up, so probably knight a5 makes some sense. Attacking his bishop, asking it to retreat to some square. If he goes to d3, it might involve a pawn sacrifice. Oh, but he has, after I take and rook d4, he has bishop h7 check, so bishop d3 looks like the right call. Yeah, now he's not attacking the a6 pawn, so I can finally finish my development of this rook on a8, and I'm feeling quite good with the situation here. And yeah, rook ac1. I'm wondering, okay, I have a little bit of less time than I would like, so let's see. I'll make a window for my king with h6. Bishop h4 comes to mind, so I wouldn't like to play g6. I really like to play well, so try to be faster and maintain some level, and of course make some pre-moves in the process. I feel like g4 wasn't completely necessary by him to weaken his king like this, but yeah, can we grab this one over here? Yeah. Knight b3 comes to mind. Rook takes c1 followed by knight b3. Attacking c1 and d4. Yeah. So in this position, we probably go rook d1, and then I'm planning to go bishop a8 to attack the d4 pawn once again and prepare queen b7 on the long diagonal. And yeah, so here I'm not sure how it will turn out. I think that my position is quite good, and yeah. Okay, he's threatening mate. I can go with my queen somewhere and try to attack. I also go f5. So preparing capture on c1 and closing his diagonal. g6 was also interesting, but then it might have allowed some sacrifices. Yeah, now I'm not sure what to follow. I guess queen b4 makes sense. And yeah, I'm attacking this pawn. He will probably take. And I will take back with the e pawn and see how to navigate the complications. Let's have a look. So he captures. I'm capturing. I want to capture back. And yes, if he takes, I have at least a perpetual check. I might have a little bit more even. The perpetual is queen d4 check, queen d1 check. And yeah, I have 1 minute to decide, so I won't rush. Seems like if he doesn't take, my position will be better because he doesn't have any huge threats and his king is quite exposed. So I wanna, yeah. So he didn't take. He allows me to take on d4. Should probably take with the queen and try to. Oh, also knight d2 is interesting. Okay, I'd like to simply fork the rook and the bishop. This is actually a very interesting move because d4 might be hanging if he takes with the queen, and if he takes with the rook, I have bishop e4, forking the knight, the queen, and the rook. Yeah, so he took here, which I predicted. Check. Takes d4. Now king h2 is knight takes f1 mate, so he has to blockade with the rook, and then I will take the bishop. Probably, yeah, I don't see a better move. Also, bishop e4 is extremely interesting. Wow. But then queen e6. I'm not so sure. Knight e4 comes to mind. It's really hard to say. Rook f8. So many options. Time. Yeah, go bishop e4. Oh. Check. But let's see. He's checking my king. f5. Okay, taking on d1. He's going to try to give me a perpetual check. I have 10 seconds left, and it seems like there is no perpetual going on. I can grab some of his pieces. White forfeits on time. So this was an interesting game. I managed to grab his pieces here at the end in the time pressure, but I suspect I wasn't really in danger of losing at any moment. Check. It was just possibly a draw had he taken immediately on f5. At least I didn't see anything stronger at the time. So yeah, as you can see, he thought he would have a perpetual check, but after my move king h8 followed by with the idea after knight g6 check to go to h7, he doesn't seem to be able to make to force the draw, and he's just a piece down at the moment, and he just gave me another piece and lost on time. And yeah, black's position is completely winning now. Check. After queen e1 check, if he blockades with the rook, I would take. After king g2, I'll go bishop e4 check. It's pretty much game over, regardless to the clock situation. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching, and please stay tuned in the next video to see some small remarks about the opening and the summary of my mistakes in this game, and of course to see some more interesting games on the ICC pool. Thanks a lot, guys, and keep watching the videos.